Hey, how's it going? We had some oat violations to clear up. What do you think? I think that our terraforming is at least, acceptably aesthetic now, but we might get some kind of environmental notice now. I'm not too sure about the drainage coming out of the gas station. I may have gotten a little carried away, but it was killing me that our gas station here was floating above the land. And I definitely underestimated how much of it. It turns out it was mostly not on the ground. So I had to do this all the way around. All of this edge is all brand new dirt, which I know you probably saw in the intro, but... And then I think it was Driftweeb had the idea. I actually did a quick little random lunch stream when I was working on this. I think it was Driftweeb that had the idea. What if we had some drainage coming out of the gas station and it was polluting the waters? And then look, our Fallout gas station pollution caused the pufferfish to turn into these massive laser shooting monsters, which also, are actually a pretty good ink farm, so that's handy. We gotta get some allays over here and we've got a built-in ink farm for our gas station, but yeah. So our pollution caused a guardian to mutate from a pufferfish. What do you know? You gotta be careful around here. It's again, this is our pre-war Fallout, but you can see, even then, they didn't really have their environmental policies in check, which, probably led to their inevitable doom. I thought this was pretty cool. We did a little bit of slime. Slime was the best. I tried some green glass, and it does have a nice brown to it, but the slime blocks obviously just help really sell that oozy, gooey. And this is just grates with some black concrete behind them, so it kind of sells it as a dark void. For some reason, slime blocks under the water go transparent, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah, I think it still works. It kind of looks like the pollution is dissolving into the water, I guess, but so the episode's only just begun, and we've already cleared up 2 oat violations, because we had one back at the base as well, which we're going to go to next. It was a much smaller one. We had a tree coming through our... If you remember that tree that we left that kind of came through our city foundation? Well, Oat noticed it almost immediately and left us a little sign, but that's okay. We cleaned it up and I took care of our little Oat man that left our violation. Let's check our stock real quick while we're here, because you never know. Look at that, 2 diamonds. So not much. I did check the stock last night, so there probably wasn't really anyone on last night between then and now, but hey, we did get one little purchase, so sales continue at the old rocket shop. The build's still not quite done. It looks like we have a few more trees. Actually, this might have been I wonder if this was a morgue intentional decision so that we weren't blocking the view of the gas station. I'm guessing that was the case now that I'm looking at it. We got the trees up and we got the terraforming done around the base. There's still a few more detail stuff that we didn't quite get finished, but the shop is effectively complete. We'll throw some more stuff up over time. This build is pretty fun, so I think we can do a lot more stuff throughout the season. Maybe eventually we'll add some Fallout style cars or something driving around the parking lot. I'd like to add some, find a way to add white lines so that you can actually have delineated parking spaces or something. I think that could look cool. I don't know. There's a lot of little detail stuff we could do with this. Morg mentioned trying to get some kind of vending machine put up in here somewhere. I think that could be really fun. I don't know. Gas station has a lot of cool details you can do. We've got bigger and bolder plans for this episode. We are going to start the city planning. After I check my shop over here real quick. Look at that. 2, 4. Man, we are raining diamonds. We dropped our string price and now it's only 1 stack for 1 diamond, which is fair. I think Maddie was the only person to purchase any at the full price. Let's head back over to the base and start working on some city planning. Let me just shut this off real quick so it's not interrupting us constantly. Make sure I don't forget to turn that back on. I know you won't actually be able to see when it happens, but I really don't want to forget that I turned this farm off because that is our rocket shop gunpowder supply, so we don't want to mess with that too much. But this is the plan for today's episode. I want to get at least this section of roads laid. I don't think we're going to get the whole platform done because that is a significant amount of wool. And also, I think I'm going to use smooth stone for the sidewalks, and that is a double smelt because you have to convert cobblestone into stone and then stone into smooth stone. So I don't think we're going to get all of the roads laid. Plus, I don't think we want to get too far ahead of ourselves in case, we end up not liking the road width, or we may decide to change the elevation over here some too to add some dynamics to the city. So for now, we're going to focus on just this kind of half over here. I want to put down just some white concrete blocks because those are going to be the center lines of the roads. So I think if we can get some lines together and kind of get an idea. I want to have a loop, I think, and then I want 1 dead end cul-de-sac. I think I want to have a road that goes all the way down the middle-ish. I guess we're not quite in the middle here, but goes from end to end from the city. And then I'm not sure about the outsides of the city. We kind of have two major decisions to make. Like, do we want the back sides of the buildings to be right against the edge of the city, or do we want a road that kind of goes down the backside? I'm really not sure what I want to do there. I'm thinking a road, and then like, you know, like a nice like cultivated tree line on the other side of that road to kind of delineate the city from the forest. But first things first, let's get some blocks down and kind of map out where our roads are going to be. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, we got the initial layout done, but it's raining out and it's hard to see, so while we're waiting for the rain to clear up, let's run over to the Mushroom Island and we gotta buy some bricks and hopefully some terracotta. Let's hope Draconis and Slip have stocked their shops. And while we're flying here into the trade district, I think we'll hop in the rocket shop real quick and see if we've made any sales. I've seen a few people on here and there, so look at that. 2 more diamonds. We're making sales. We're making diamonds. Actually, probably should have taken those, but we'll leave them for now. Because we got to make some purchases here at Draconis' shop and over at Slip's Terracotta shop. But let's check these two. All right, 4 diamonds. I just checked these like yesterday, so that's actually not bad. Oh, someone bought our string at its new lowered price as well. That's nice. All right, let's grab some diamonds in here. 57 ought to be enough. And I got some shulkers here that we can hopefully fill up. We're going to need a decent chunk of bricks. Let's see what these are going for in here. All items, except individual bricks, are 1 diamond per slot. So I'm thinking, so individual bricks are 1 diamond per 3 slots, which is these, and then everything else is 1 diamond per slot. So let's see, that's bricks, and that's bricks. So there's only 2 things of bricks. All right, how many diamonds is 1 barrel? We've got 57 here. 30, so 27 diamonds per barrel. Yeah, we're just gonna buy both. We're just gonna clean them right out. Can we place this way? Yeah, okay, we can still open it. I was worried we wouldn't be able to open it once I placed it. It's important to share our wealth, and we've been doing pretty well here on the server as of late, so we have to stimulate the brick economy, just like that. 27 diamonds. Not a bad day for Draconis. So our first build in the city is actually kind of going to be 3 separate builds, and it is still raining, unfortunately. But, oh, terracotta. Crap, we used most of our diamonds. I think we only need, like, 3 stacks of terracotta, because we've got some terracotta already at home. Where's the... Wow, no bank here. This terracotta shop really needs some work. I mean, he doesn't have a cash register, he doesn't have a bank. I mean, I'm getting rained on while I'm trying to... I mean, it's really disrupting my shopping experience. There's just rain constantly falling on my head. That's alright, that's alright. Just saying, someone that works at a company that, you know, critiques other people's terraforming, we should work on their, you know, weatherproofing of their shop a little bit, but that's fine. The 1 diamond per 2 stacks. We're gonna have to dye it anyway. It doesn't look like he has. I need light brown terracotta or light gray terracotta. It doesn't look like that is for sale here. Prices vary. 1 diamond for 2 stacks. They're all 1 diamond for 2 stacks. Regular terracotta. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 5. What is this? 58 terracotta? Is he trying to rip someone off? We'll go ahead and leave him a little tip because we're feeling generous today. All right, throw these back in here. We'll keep those diamonds outside of our little money box because I like to have some at quick access. All right, we checked the shops. We got terracotta. We got bricks. We spent a lot of diamonds. I guess we'll head back over here and hopefully the rain stops so that I can start showing you kind of some of our city planning we've done. Oh, you see it just barely in the distance there. I really kind of wish this rain was... Oh, it's about to sleep. We're going to wait till tomorrow. We're going to wait till the rain goes away and then we can get a nice clear picture. All right. The sun is out and it's a beautiful day. take a look at what we got going on over here. Now, obviously I didn't get all of the roads placed or all the sidewalks or anything, but we've started to kind of get a feel for what like the size of the roads are going to be, how the sidewalks are going to look, and how we kind of want to lay our roads out. Let's actually fly up to our AFK spot. We can get a better vantage point from up here, so nice little bird's eye view. So this is what we've got so far. A couple things. I want to do some varying road widths. So you can see these are kind of like a little bit wider. It's kind of hard to tell from way back here, I guess. It's like subtly different, but the cross-sectional roads are 5 blocks wide, and then kind of like the north to south roads, or I guess east to west roads, are 7 blocks wide. Some of the roads are going to be bigger, some of the roads are going to be smaller. I just want kind of varying sizes, just so you get like a different feel, and the whole city doesn't feel the same, if that makes sense. I also think having like this narrower road is going to make this little corner street here feel really like tight and secluded, which I think could be interesting. I want to have some roads that dead end like these ones, so that when you're back on this back street, you'll be completely surrounded by buildings. Now, not all the buildings are going to be skyscrapers. For instance, our first builds are going to go right here, what we're building today. And they're not huge, but they're big enough that when you're standing on the ground, you won't really be able to see past them. But for now, this is kind of our shape. We've got a couple cut-throughs, a couple main drags, and a nice little cul-de-sac thing here. And that's what we've got so far. Now, the first thing to do is to start putting some buildings in it. So I think that's next step, is we're going to build our first few buildings here. Now, I'm not going to do interiors for everything in the city, but I will do interiors probably for one of these buildings. At least a building like here and there in the city that you can actually go into and interact with would be interesting. And we can like, you know, this is probably going to be like some kind of library building. So maybe we put our librarians in there or something, some reason to explore the city. I know we've got them in the basement right now, but my goal isn't to keep everything in the basement forever. So as we complete stuff, we can kind of move our farms and our different like villagers into the city. And then hopefully, you know, over time, the city is our base, right? First steps first, we're going to start laying some bricks because we just spent a lot of diamonds and we probably bought way too many, but I think we're going to have a lot of brick buildings in the city. So I figured, why don't we just stock right up and then not have to worry about it in the future? Resource gathering is probably like one of the biggest time sinks, and I really want to spend a lot of time building in the next few episodes, so anytime we can get ahead on resources, it's going to be worth it for us. So this is the home for our first, I think it's going to be 3 separate buildings, but they're going to be like very similar palettes and very similar structure, if that makes sense. But they'll, you know, each one will vary slightly in some way. And then we'll do a light interior on the middle one. We'll see how detailed I get on that. Honestly, it's just going to be how much time do I have to get it done. That's how much detail we'll get. And then I think after we get those builds done, maybe we'll just fill out all of our sidewalks and roads. I don't know if we have quite enough wool. It's a lot of wool. Even just like the little areas here that I did that don't seem like that much was probably like 10 stacks of black wool. So it's going to take a significant amount to fill out this whole area. And if we go look over here at our wool farm, now I have pulled out like 10 stacks of wool, I think. So this isn't all of it, but what have we got? Yeah, so we've got another probably like, what is that, 9, so probably 15 stacks of wool, and then another 15 maybe or so, whatever it is. We've got a decent little chunk here, but this is definitely not enough to do all the roads, so we'll kind of fill out the roads as we get, you know, enough wool over time. I don't really want to expand the farm because once the roads are done, we won't really need black wool anymore, so I think if we just keep, you know, keep staying in the area and keep that thing active, we'll get enough wool over time. But let's start building some stuff and bring some life to this city. I'll see you in a minute. Hopefully it looks a lot better then.
Find that the weather
And here it is. The first 3 buildings in our city. They're a little decrepit, they're a little dilapidated, but honestly, I think having the 2 abandoned buildings kind of to either side kind of adds a little bit more character to our one building that we did like a little interior for. We did 3 wide sidewalks. I mean, you kind of saw some of this already when I was laying out the roads and sidewalks, but this is a really good idea of kind of like what the typical city street is going to look like. So we're going with polished andesite stairs, and we're doing these little flipped ones every so often for like sewer runs. Right now, I just kind of threw some black wool in here, but I'm going to go back through with black concrete, I think, because it'll help it look like a deep, dark void a little better. And I do eventually want to put an actual sewer system under the city, but until we get a lot of this like above ground stuff done, I really don't want to go down there and get too deep on that project. Let's get a nice, pretty face for the city first. But yeah, here's our building. And we got our 2 little decrepit buildings either side of it. I kind of liked having like 3 similar buildings on the street. If you've ever driven through like an older city or even some of the newer cities, the buildings typically look pretty similar, like street to street. So I thought it would be cool to kind of put 3 kind of slightly varying roofs and, you know, different window sizes. And then these 2 are clearly like abandoned and no longer used. So the plan is to kind of start with this kind of style and kind of move nicer and nicer and nicer until like that corner. I want to have a big cob tower, I think. I think it's going to be like the biggest building in the city. So rather than the city having like a peak skyline, I kind of want the city to sweep up, if that makes sense. So like smaller, older buildings down here, and then slowly get more modern and bigger and high rises and skyscrapers until finally it peaks over here in the corner somewhere. That's the plan. As we get buildings placed, you know, we can change stuff up. We're not committed to anything here, but that's kind of my vision for now. So yeah, here's our roads. Little, like I said, we're going with a black wool with the white concrete stripes. I like these little tree planters. I'm not sure about the frequency of them and the size. This is kind of just like my test run at it, I would say. These are easy enough to put up and take down, so I wanted a little bit of green in the city, especially in this area. As we get to like the more modern areas, we'll probably do more like storefronts and signs and flashy stuff. But it felt like in the older area, there should be some like trees and greenery, some like moss and dirt on the buildings, things like that, to kind of make it feel older and more like, you know, to just help the area feel a little older and, you know, less traveled, if that makes sense. Yeah, we did a quick little interior. It's kind of like a little bookshop. I don't know if library is probably the right. It's just not big enough to be called really a library in my mind, but I think it's a bookshop. Like maybe like a used book exchange or something like that. We definitely need a lot more details in here, but I think we got enough in here to kind of get the vibe for what it is. Got a nice little staircase up here. I really wanted to do like a looped around walkway. I kind of wish the opening was a little bit bigger, but I think the effect is still there. So yeah, just think of this like a used book exchange, or just like just think of this like a used book exchange, or just like I don't know, just kind of a cool, trendy little bookstore in the way, way back of the city. There it is. Deep slate for our roofs and trims, a little brick and granite for some texturing. I even did this little like packed mud. Packed mud. This is actually rooted dirt, which I had to go find, by the way, which I didn't realize how much of a pain in the butt rooted dirt is. I had to go find an azalea tree on the surface, and if you dig underneath like a naturally spawning one, because they go down to a lush cave, there's actually a bunch of rooted dirt below them. So I got like 10 stacks of rooted dirt by just digging like a 5x5 area all the way down and just collected as much of it as I could. And then I only used like 32 of it because I just used it like here and there for texturing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. We finally got some builds in the city, which is great. The roofs are a little flat, but I feel like that's just kind of the style. Let me throw my wings on here real quick. The roofs are like a little flat, but I feel like that's just kind of the style for buildings like this. They are slab roofs, so hopefully we don't have to worry about mob spawning up here too much. I'm not really sure about mob spawns on upside down stairs, so these probably aren't spawn proof, but you know, it is what it is. We've got a cool little alleyway between them, which I like. We'll probably put more, again, we have like a bunch more details to do. But I think I want to get like a decent little chunk of buildings in this kind of corner done. And then we'll come back through. We'll probably do a whole episode that's just like adding like trash bags and like maybe fencing in some of the alleyways for like dead end stuff. I did a little bit of graffiti over here on this building. Just kind of testing out some like white concrete, kind of like partial letter shapes. This one kind of says CB, you know, Cobb. Yeah, I'm super happy with the result. I really like the sidewalk size, the road size. Some people I've seen in city builds do slabs for their sidewalks, so it's like a smaller step up. And I feel like it makes it, like it does feel like a pretty big step up to the sidewalk, but I just really like the look of this like being a true curb. And at least the cities and areas that I've been in recently, the curbs are like really extremely defined, so I just feel like that really sells the effect more than a slab, but you know, it's everyone's personal choice. And then the sidewalk, I just went with the smooth stone. It's got the most like perfectly square, like a cement pad. We'll probably go back through and try to texture it, put in some like cracked bricks and stuff everywhere. Maybe we'll do like a nice little cobblestone area, just like the older, less upkept area of the city. But I also want to do like an older section of the city that's more like pubs and like old brick buildings and like cobblestone streets. I think that could be really cool, like a little like trade district in it too, maybe. We're past the dark, but I actually think, oh, they're gonna sleep, but I do think this looks super cool. See the light shines through these windows in the darkness? I just think it looks so cool, especially with these two in contrast, and you can like see that there's life in the middle of the building, and it just really helps kind of make it stand out. Originally, I was just gonna do this one build, and it just kind of didn't do well on its own. It just needed more around it. So this was kind of like the perfect compromise to kind of extend it to more area. But yeah, there we go. The ground is laid. We've got a kind of pattern decided, and we've got the first buildings in the city. That's all we have time for today. If you made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one.